Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream here on Noki Plays. My name is Professor Noki, and you've joined me for some more shiny hunting. Alrighty, so to begin with this morning, gonna get myself some rowlet eggs to hatch here. You know what, I just realized too, because I just came across this Bonsley here. I forgot to get myself a Pokemon that can actually catch a Noibat. I do that often. Alright, let's see here. Let's use... Where is it here? Where did you go? Oh. Dirt. We'll do this here. We'll use a Pokemon that's really good against Noibat and a Pokemon that could catch it. Could help me catch it. Good morning, Devil Lost Soul. Thank you so much for joining the stream. How are you doing here this morning? Not today, Scraggy, not today. These Noibat are so difficult to grab sometimes. Blast. Egads. Oh my goodness. It's frustrating. Nope. Not gonna start off with a shiny this morning. Would've been cool though, huh? Start the morning off right away with a shiny. Ooh, very nice. So it is 2 days, huh? Oh, dang it. Happy New Year! Thanks for reminding me. I was so selfishly caught up on today's 100 subscriber battle stream. Like, oh, that's what today is. Today's not the new year. It's not the first day of the new year. The new seasonal year. The new calendar year. You fools! How dare you practice the 1st of April as being the first of the year? Beginning of springtime. Even though it makes way more sense than practicing it in the middle of winter. I'm not gonna forget this time. Mm. Ah. Oh yeah, it's April 1st. I forgot. That's when the Animal Crossing update goes live. I forgot all about that. Everybody can start digging up their Easter eggs now. Get some more eggs here before I go back off venturing for my Noibat. That way I don't have to keep running back over here. There we go. There we go. Huh? Nope. All your hardwood trees are pink flowers? That's cool. Didn't even realize that the hardwood trees flowered. Zozer, good morning. How are you doing today, man? Really? This giant colossal couldn't get away from a Zigzagoon? Oh. Maybe the hardwood trees don't normally have flowers, but they only do because of the Easter thing. Oh. So maybe it's just the springtime thing. I don't know, that's weird. Or a summertime thing. Zozer, possibly. What did you have in mind? Yeah. No. Oh man. Part of me wishes I had been keeping count this whole time to see how many Rowlets I have accurately. But it definitely is well over 300 at this point. It has to be. I could get a pretty rough estimate if I counted my home boxes. But somewhere in the ballpark of 300. You're hoping we could do shiny for shiny. As of right now, let's wait until after the giveaway stream today because pretty much all of the shinies I have outside of the ones that I typically like to keep, I'm giving away today. So I actually have 10 shiny Pokemon that I have up for grabs, as well as I think 18 Gmax? 12 or 18 Gmax. Can't quite remember. See, and no. Dang it. Dang it. Oh my goodness. All right. Dang it. Oh, there we go. If I can get some more eggs real quickly here. Oh, come on. This bike has such terrible handling. I wish they would have made it more like the bike in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. You could just zip around on those bikes in that game. That would have been nice. This one has such a wide turning radius compared to that bike. Zozer, you're currently hunting for a Litten with a hidden ability and Phantom. Very cool. Those are actually two of my favorite shinies as well, so good luck to you. So you're hatching for your Litten. Are you actually hunting for the Phantom, or are you trying to hatch for it? Both are hatching. I gotcha. So do you utilize both of the nurseries to hatch, different Pokemon at the same time? Are you just going back and forth between the nurseries? Is that how you're hatching? I've always wondered if people utilize both the nurseries at once, because I have not used that tactic yet. But I'd be very curious if it's effective. Both nurseries, okay. And that works out pretty well for you, Zozer? It doesn't seem like too convoluted to go back and forth between the nurseries, or do you basically hatch one at a time? I guess you probably do what a lot of other people do that I have not taken the time to do, which is to actually build up a store of eggs in your boxes that you can just kind of travel around and hatch. I would like to take the time to do that sometime. What I do is stock up on eggs, then go do random stuff while hatching. Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I've heard a couple of other people here on stream basically say, that they stock up on eggs and then they go around and actually do like hunting or whatever. And it's been something I've really wanted to take the time to do. I just haven't had the opportunity. You do one of them at a time. That's probably a good idea. So far, your shinies are Crustle, Indeedee, Tyranitar, Maractus, Gyarados, G-Max Gengar, Celebi, Gardevoir, Golurk, Haxorus, G-Max Alchemy, Reshiram, and Conkeldurr. Very nice. 4 Litten boxes, 1 Phantom box. No luck getting shinies on those two so far. The grind is real. But that's awesome. Looks like you got a pretty awesome shiny collection built up there so far, man. I'm not really sure off the top of my head on all the shinies that I currently have. I'd have to look in my box. I was wondering when my SmackDown was gonna run out. Might as well swap Colossal with Cairo here. Cryo, not Cairo. I guess. Oh, sweet, a shiny Ditto also. That's cool. My wife actually has a shiny Ditto. It's a 6 IV shiny Ditto, isn't it? Something like that. Yeah. I don't remember. Bushy, good morning. Welcome to the stream today. How have you been? Wasn't it you that was saying you didn't think you could make it to the stream today unless you stayed up all night? Maybe I'm mistaking you for somebody else in the Discord server, but I'm pretty sure it was you in the Discord server that was saying, or was it Roy? Can't quite remember. Hopefully you didn't stay up, pull an all-nighter like others typically have. Looking at you, Mike. Yes, okay, that's why you guys were sticking out in my head. It was you, it was both of you. Well, glad to know my memory hasn't completely went away with my old age. Filled up another box of Rowlets. Yep. My attack missed? What kind of nonsense is that? So did you end up pulling an all-nighter to be here, Bushy? Guess I was just processing that. What time in the morning is it for you over there? Are you an hour behind or an hour ahead of us? It's currently 6:37 my time. Zozer says, currently making 2 competitive teams, one single, the other double. One of them relies on trick room strategies, while the other relies on rain and electric terrain. That's cool. Do you have you done a lot of competitive teams before, or is this your first time really focusing on doing competitive? I've been wanting to kind of dabble in some competitive myself, but I really have almost no real experience with it. Outside of what I've been learning actually through a lot of these streams from people. But that is something I'm still very much interested in doing. I would like to do some of the actual official competitions. I think that'd be fun. Okay, I'm glad to hear, Bushy. It'd suck if you would have stayed up all night. I know that can be fun sometimes, but it can also lead to being like extra tired, extra exhausted the next day. So you are an hour ahead of us. I gotcha. I suppose I highly doubt there's a lot of people in the Mountain or Pacific time zone currently in the stream right now. Be like 5:30 or 4:30 depending on where you live if you're over on the western part of America. Dang it. I wish there was like a deposit Pokemon option, you know, when you went to click on your Pokemon in your party like that. There should be a option that just lets you deposit them instead of having to go into your box like this every single time. I'll just move over to box 31. Zozer's done competitive before, but I've never made a team. Usually just jumble some random Pokemon together and call it a team. Yeah, that's actually kind of where I've always been with it. You know, I'll pick my favorites or try to go and cover all of the different typings that I possibly can. So I'll find Pokemon that know a lot of different moves and have very variable move sets. But I've never really focused too much on IV or EV training. I've never really delved too much into abilities or held items. I've never really considered too much as far as double battles, like moves that work well with other Pokemon. I've never really delved too much into the rooms or any of that kind of stuff. So that's the area where I feel very inexperienced and where I feel like there's a lot that I have there's a lot that I have yet to be learned before I actually dive into doing any form of competition. Otherwise, I'll just end up getting crushed. So that could definitely be fun. I mean, if you wanted to take the time, I wouldn't argue. It'd be fun to see what kind of team you could come up with. And then, too, technically I wouldn't be using my own biases to select the team, so I wouldn't just be picking Pokemon I generally like or generally use. So that'd be even more fun, I think. Mordecai, welcome to the stream today. Good morning, good morning. You're saying you usually just cobble some Pokemon onto a team also? I think that's typically what many or most casual or even hardcore players do. If they're not really into competitive. But obviously people who are in competitions and stuff, you have to take a lot more time to be developing your team. Because there are some really awesome Pokemon in those competitive competitions, man. I entered into the Galar... What is it? Galar Begins, I think. It was the very first competition that Sword and Shield held after the game was released. I entered in with some Pokemon that weren't even fully evolved yet because I wasn't that far in the game and just got totally wiped off the board. I knocked out one person's Pokemon one time out of the like 7 or 8 people I ended up actually battling. I also didn't have tons of time to actually go on and do battling at that time, so I didn't get much practice even on top of it, but it was still a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun competing. Bushy actually never been really competitive with Pokemon, just watched so many videos of competitive, got help with my team, and call it a day. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. I mean, if you don't want to take the time to learn all the nuances yourself, there are a lot of people out there that do offer assistance, compiling teams, or even learning how to compile a team so that you don't have to take the time to do it necessarily yourself. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The reason why I personally would like to go through and learn all of the little nuances of competitive is so that I myself have a better understanding of how to use it then in battle. And also I feel like I'm one of those people where if I put a lot of hard work into something and then I get to reap the reward of it, it just makes it even more gratifying to me, I guess. Because I know that I had to work extra hard to achieve it. So it makes it more special. That's kind of like with even the shiny Pokemon. A lot of people have offered to just give me the shiny Pokemon that I'm currently hunting. However, I would much rather just put myself through the challenge of actually finding it or hatching it myself, and then reaping the extra reward of knowing that I did it did it the hard way in a sense. Took on the challenge and didn't take the easy route. Mordecai, I'm not competitive either. I just battle for fun. Yeah, exactly. That's, I mean, generally speaking, that's where I've always been. I've quite literally never, up until Sword and Shield, I've never even given competitive much of a thought. Sword and Shield really made competitive so much more accessible for everybody, including more casual, competitive battlers. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've had my fair share of wins as well as losses. Yeah, I haven't actually spent too much time battling online outside of through these streams and my battle streams and stuff like that. So I haven't really been able to test any of my new Pokemon teams, honestly, in a competitive environment. But, pardon me. My only real concern when going competitive and not having a competitive team is that right out of the gate, some people have teams that are just drastically better off than yours because of the time they've taken to make them competitive. Tackle this Noibat quick, and then I'm gonna go back and get some more eggs. I'm gonna have to switch Cryo out here for another Dragon Killer, another Dragon Slayer. She's running down all of her moves. Not gonna be able to take them out here soon. Or some people like to battle with legendaries and such. That's how it was for me back in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and even in Sword. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. I just personally have been somebody who's never really used legendaries in battle. I'm not really sure what it is. I mean, I know some people are like, oh, they're too powerful, they're too overpowered, but you can overpower a regular Pokemon just as much as you can. I mean, I feel like a legendary in some regards. I don't know. I just feel like I like to collect legendaries more than I like to use them in battle. Hey Noki, I suggest you trade me one of your Pokemon and make it strongly trained and then give it back. I'm not totally against that. I don't really know what Pokemon I would trade you. Or not. Let me think on that one, and I'll hit you up on the Discord server so that we can swap. Oh. Psh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure, Zozer. I'm sure. Oh, you're funny. Unless you're using a Trick Room team, the legendary Pokemon are usually always faster than yours. I could understand that. I could understand that they might have certain perks as far as their stats go. I was just meaning in general, you can get a regular Pokemon up to essentially the same caliber as a legendary, just the same. You know, there might be some aspects to the legendary that you'd still be more preferable with, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to competitive, so maybe there is an exact reason why you'd want to use legendaries. And that's why so many people do use them. I love legendary Pokemon, don't get me wrong. I think they're awesome. They're some of the best designed Pokemon, I think. And ultimately, definitely some of the best named Pokemon. Mordecai, the way I'd counter a Trick Room team is using a Pokemon with Trick Room as well. Like Whimsicott, for example. If they use the move against me, I would just use it to cancel it out. Ah, I gotcha. Well, that makes sense. That's one thing I would really have to do, is actually sit down and fully understand how to utilize a lot of those strategical moves more appropriately. You know, like with the trick rooms and a lot of the status conditions and stuff like that. Especially for double battles. I mean, there are some really amazing strategies you can come up with to fully utilize all of your Pokemon in a double battle. Or alternatively, both teams are Trick Room teams. Yeah, that way everyone wins. True. True. And then it would be like not having it at all. Trick Room used to be my Achilles heel. Now it's just like, seen it, covered it. That's awesome, Mordecai. Well, that's gotta feel good then. You know, when you used to have one issue when it came to competitive battling that you've been able to overcome, and now you don't fear it as much going into a battle. That's awesome. Let's see, let's pull out Primarina here. Just a couple of more minutes here left for the stream, so I'm gonna hunt down a couple more Noibat and hatch a few more eggs, and then we'll call it a morning here. Ooh, what if the Pokemons with Trick Room has Imprison? I'd have a Pokemon with Prankster just in case. I've said it before, but I just really think the Alolan starters in Sword and Shield just look so beautiful. Their 3D models just really transferred over well from the 3DS. I mean, just seriously, Primarina and Incineroar and Decidueye are all so crisp looking. Probably should go grab an egg so I can at least hatch one more egg or so. So those of you asking, if you don't mind, can you show me your shiny collection? That way I can tell you which ones are strong. Sure, let me hatch this last egg and encounter one more Noibat quickly here. Just to end it off. Just to round it out nicely. Mordecai, that's awesome. Incineroar is my favorite. Not because I'm a cat person. Cough, cough. You and my son Elias would get along quite nicely then. He is absolutely obsessed with cats. I unfortunately am highly allergic, so I like them, and some cats just seem to absolutely love me. Either that or they're trying to kill me. I haven't been able to ever figure that out for sure. But, I mean, literally, as soon as I walk into a room with a cat, the cat's immediately rubbing up against me, all over me, on my face, like, breathe me in, die from my fumes. Alright, let's hatch one more Rowlet here, see what we get. I think it's been pretty clear at this point, by the way, as follow-up to this last conversation here. My favorite is definitely Decidueye out of the three. Nope, no shinies today. Wah, wah, wah. Alright, so anybody who's interested, I will quickly throw up here my shiny collection. Now, it isn't my full shiny collection because, alright, so these are all shiny down here too. Both these rows down here are shiny, as well as these three. These are all the ones that I like to use, so I threw them in my team box instead of my shiny box here. And then I have these, which are my other shinies. Some of these I actually have to trade off, like this Eevee has to be traded over to Nadia. This Alchemy has to be traded over to Aubrey. Oh wait, no, I already traded her a shiny Milcery, didn't I? Anyway. And then these are some of the ones that I actually just recently got from people. But yeah, these are the shinies that I've collected. This was actually my very first full odds wild shiny all the way back in Pokemon X and Y. So I was really excited that I got to bring him up here. Zozer, Decidueye is your single favorite Pokemon. Hey, mine too. I completely agree. Bushy, my favorite Monsafar is Incineroar, mainly because it was my first ever Pokemon. Well, that's awesome to know. So Alola, the Alolan games were your first ever games, handheld games? That's awesome. Alright guys, Bushy, Zozer, Mordecai. I don't think anybody else is here in the chat, but if anybody else is watching, thank you guys all so much for joining me this morning for another shiny hunt here in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I hope you guys will stay tuned later this afternoon at 1 o'clock Central Time for my 100 subscriber giveaway, where I'll be giving away some of these, well, not those shiny Pokemon, but I'll be giving away some shiny Pokemon and G-Max Pokemon, as well as drawing from the people who entered for the merch giveaway for today. So it's going to be a great time, and I hope to see you guys all there. Otherwise, have a fantastic Wednesday, and you've been here for another Noki Plays. What's that?